I'm Vicki Hogarth and welcome to Southwest Magazine. I'm joined today by Wilfred Langmaid of the Mariners Alumni Association and the Mariners Music Fest. Thank you for being here today, Wilfred.
Thanks for the invitation. We appreciate the publicity.
Now, I know that the Mariners Music Fest is coming up on August 12th, but I want to start off first by talking about what is the Mariners Alumni Association.
That's a great way to start, because the only way that we can put on a music festival is under the auspices of an alumni association. Last year, when Ann Dewar and I discussed putting on some sort of event, that became clear. So the association was formed last year. And we put on a one-day event on the same weekend in August. It was August 13 last year, and it was such a hit that we decided, yes, we'll absolutely do it again, but we will make a little bit longer and add some things to it, and hopefully make that weekend after the long weekend in August each year that St. George is the go-to place for this great festival and other fun activities.
Okay, and in terms of who the Mariners are, when we think of the Eastern Charlotte region, Fundy High is obviously the big school that we think of, but who is under the umbrella of the Mariners Alumni Association?
It's Fundy High graduates, but all of the schools that preceded Fundy High School. For instance, when Fundy High opened in 1977, there had been a Blacks Harbor High School. There had been Eastern Charlotte Regional School in St. George. They amalgamated into Fundy High. There are lots of other schools in the area, Back Bay School, for instance. There are people in the association, if they went to school in the area, and in many cases graduated from one of the area schools, they are more than welcome to be part of the festival. But in fact, anyone that loves the area and would love a fun day of music, they're more than welcome. The more the merrier.
I love that the idea of, when we think of high school reunions, they're usually just at the high school, but I love the idea that yes, it's open to everyone, but in a lot of ways it encourages people who went to high school in the area to make this event a reason to come home,
Exactly.
A reason to appreciate music, but also to reconnect with people you went to high school with.
Exactly, and this also was initiated just coming out of COVID, and there was this recognition on the part of so many of us that this feeling of isolation and lack of community togetherness, and last year especially, there were absolutely people that were not keen on being out in big events and closed spaces. So the fact that it was in the open air gave peace of mind as well.
What can we expect for this year's festival on August 12th?
Okay, what we had last year, but more. So one of the goals is for this to really be a weekend event. We planned, in fact, to have some sort of event on Sunday. That didn't happen this year, but we're going to do it next year. There is the Thursday night St. George concert series, so that in a sense begins the weekend with the Higgins sisters playing. On Friday night, we are having our own launch of the Mariners Music Fest at Magadavick Place. The basketball courts have just been refurbished, so there's going to be a 3-on-3 youth basketball tournament going on Friday evening, which would be the 11th. And 4 of us who are performing the next day at the Music Fest will be there providing music that night. There'll be snacks, there'll be the famous Floggy Dogs, and that's really our family evening. We hope that people will come with their families for this event. And then the Saturday event is an all-day festival. It goes from 12 noon until 11 p.m., so an hour later than last year, but it itself is being preceded by events that are supported by community partners. For instance, there's a community market at the Beacon on Main Street. The Hub is putting on a breakfast from 8:30 till 10, and so you don't have to wait until 12 o'clock to start having fun. As well, there's going to be an adult washer toss tournament going on adjacent to the stage for the festival, and if people buy an admission to the washer toss tournament, they're entitled to enjoy the festival and hopefully patronize our great food vendors, our beer garden, and all the things that we have available.
Now, you mentioned you will be taking the stage too. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about some of the music and the bands that will be performing?
Sure. Last year, we made a conscious choice to keep it really simple, and it was an acoustic event. And with one exception, it was just individual members performing. This year, we'll have a lot of that. The afternoon show, Eastern Charlotte Country, will take place from 12:15 until 4, and there will be, just adding up in my head, I think a dozen performers, 11 or 12 performers there. I'll open the show briefly, but then turn it over to the afternoon performers. Then we'll have an open mic and have an opportunity for the band to set up, because the night show Fundy Rocks will be individual performers, including myself, but we will end the night with a performance by the 5-piece band Full Circle.
Okay, and then Full Circle is quite a big deal in our part of the world,
Yes.
so it must already be getting a lot of hype from within the community.
Yes, and then part of the Small World Department came to realize that the drummer and one of the lead singers of Full Circle is the son of a man I drummed with, or he was the drummer and I was the keyboard player with Gordie Mitchell in his orchestra back in the day, late 70s, early 80s, and the bass player, Eldon Cumberland, was the bassist. So there's lots of Full Circle stuff going on.
And when you say open mic, does that mean people who haven't been scheduled to perform could have the opportunity to showcase their talent?
Absolutely. Part of our goal through all of this is that it's a nurturing and supportive musical environment. And there were literally people last year who had never performed in front of people. But there are musicians who are part of the festival that are there to provide support, background playing, background vocals, whatever may be wanted. And as it turns out, we had a performer from last year who was now part of the lineup for this year.
Wow.
So it's almost a feeder system.
Now, what I love is that you still keep the theme of the entire event still has its roots in the alumni and the school history of your area, and a lot of what you do at this festival is fundraise for the community, for the school. Can you tell us a little bit about the funds you're raising for scholarships and whatnot?
Absolutely, happy to do that. Well, we are doing a lot of activities to raise funds. We have received support from the province. We have received some corporate donations. A lot of it is grassroots support, people just volunteering their time and their talents. And last year we awarded our first bursary. And this year, we not only intend to provide a bursary to a 2024 graduate from Fundy Midland High School, but also we are partnering with the Jeff Whitaker Memorial Golf Tournament, and so excited about this that we are partnering with them for new volleyball nets and poles. And so what that means is, on the one hand, there's going to be a student who's going to get some support post-high school for their education, but also these nets are going to benefit countless students in the years to come.
Wow. Why do you think so many people, even years after graduating, still feel a connection to their high school and want to give back to future generations?
There is something magical about the high school experience that I'd be hard-pressed to think of a person who doesn't have vivid memories of those high school years. Some of them are great, some of them not so great, and we're all different, but I find a great hunger on the part of people as they get older to want to come back and reconnect. And so that has certainly been the case with me. And then to see the younger generations, to see people that literally are grandchildren of people that I went to school with, and they're part of the association and volunteering. It's just a wonderful thing.
They're so incredibly formative high school.
Yes.
Sometimes, as you said, mostly for good, sometimes for bad. So when you give back, you really can make
Yes.
that little
Yes.
difference
Yes.
in someone's
Yes.
life.
That's right. That's right. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it is that that student who may be struggling with other aspects of school, but they come alive on the volleyball court. So we're helping that in some little way. Or there is absolutely a student out there that really would be hard scratching to do post-secondary, and a bursary from us is just a little kickstart for them.
What I like about the idea of this festival too is that it doesn't limit a reunion to just 1 year, one class.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a special anniversary. It's a reason to come home every year
Right.
and connect, yes, with your class, but also all different generations of your high school. And there's a lot of benefit to that. Was that part of the inspiration?
Absolutely, because if it was just a reunion for one class, that would be a one and done. But the vision for this is that, let's say in 2024, maybe the class of 2014 is going to be thinking about a 10-year reunion. Well, have it on the same weekend, and we can partner together and have more people there and support more people.
What was the turnout like last year, and are you expecting an even bigger turnout this year?
Last year, there weren't hard counts made, but there were at times as many as 300 people at one time, and there is a solid estimation that some 500 people over the course of the day were there, because there were some people that just came for the afternoon, for instance. Other people just came for the evening. Then there were a lot of us diehards that were there from start to finish.
Fundy High School also is one of those unique schools where you have students that even come in from as far away as Deer Island and come from all over the region. And then you throw on top of that the fact that many of you have probably moved far away since, including
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
So do you find that people are coming back from all over to attend this?
I think more so this year than last year. We had a couple of people last year that found out about it, but the idea only was sprouted in late April of last year, so it came together very, very quickly. This year, the word of mouth from last year has been spreading. There is certainly more buzz in the community about the event, so I would be shocked if we don't have more people this year.
Planning a music festival it's not an easy feat. It often takes a full year just to make that one weekend as organized and special as it is. What was it like stepping into that role and taking on the reins of organizing a music festival?
I'm an organizer at heart, and I'd never organized a music festival before, but it is simply a matter of being organized and having a good, strong team. There are people doing things with the festival that aren't my expertise at all. My big role is to coordinate the programming of the day and to really shepherd the entire day from 12 noon until 11 at night. And it's really something I enjoy doing, and we're all good at different things. You should see some of my pitiful attempts at doing some of the infrastructure stuff with the festival. It's not pretty, but there are amazing local people. We have Blair Thorne providing his flatbed truck and decorating it so beautifully, and we have members of the community. We have a buoy committee, and so they've been gathering up buoys over the last 6 months and painting them, and they're truly works of art.
Wow. And if people are interested in not only attending the festival, but potentially volunteering to help, do you look for volunteers as well?
Oh, big time, big time, big time. The easiest way to contact at this point would be email, which is marinersalumniassociation@gmail.com. Just let us know who you are, what you would like to do. If you want to buy an advance ticket for $10, well, you can buy an advance ticket for $10. And today, in fact, before I came over, we held a draw because when one buys advance tickets, then they are entered into a draw for one of our limited edition Mariners Alumni Association mugs. So we have a lucky winner of that, but that hasn't been posted yet, so I shan't spring that news just yet.
So planning a music festival, given your background, seems like it was a natural progression for you. Can you tell us a little bit about your own background, having a music column, and your love of music and how it's been a part of your life?
Sure. I'm happy to. Music from really my early teen years has always been a source of great joy to my life. As I mentioned, I played with Gordie Mitchell in this orchestra as a high school student and early in university. Then, as it so happened, as I got into my life and my career, performing music I was doing less and less frequently, but I really got into writing, starting with the St. Croix Courier, but I wrote a music column in the Daily Gleaner from 1981 until 2018. So that end of music was really more of what I was doing. Around about the time the column was ending, I got an itch to start playing again, and that was almost exclusively on a volunteer basis. And then COVID hit, and in my workplace, we all were feeling a great sense of isolation. We who had been, I work at UNB in student services, and this close-knit community of 50-some people that saw each other every day and worked through things to help students, all of a sudden were working from home and were isolated. Mm-hmm. And so I pitched the idea of a virtual kitchen party, and it's still going on. So that got me back into playing again. Then Ann Dewar came up with the idea of a festival, and the rest is history.
Wow. I think when I look back to, I think sometimes there are these silver linings to what we experienced as a world during the pandemic, where it made those of us who really love festivals and being with people stop taking it for granted. And it has birthed a lot of things, like, for instance, the Mariners Music Fest.
Yes.
Really comes out of, I guess, understanding how much things like that create our sense of community.
Yes.
And give us just joy.
Yes.
A very important
Yes.
community joy.
Absolutely. And for all of us who are involved in the festival, we really do view this as a legacy project that's going to be going on long after us and benefit just so many people. But each year, those of us that are there are just going to have a whole bunch of fun.
Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to most about this year's festival? I know that's sometimes hard to say when you're working it too, but there must be parts of it that you're very much looking forward to.
Personally, last year I saw people I hadn't seen in years, and this year I look forward to that as well. I want to be out in the crowds as much as I can, though still keeping a careful eye on the stage, but it's not as though there's going to be 20,000 people there. I can do both. Why
do you think reunions or reasons to unite with people that maybe you went to school with 40 years ago, 30 years ago, is such an important thing for so many of us? I mean, I think that I would much rather go to a high school reunion than a university reunion. Why do you think that there's such a draw there?
It's those pivotal teen years, and there is such closeness at the time that you develop with people that you're in school with, maybe just by association, and then your lives go in different directions and you just don't see each other. Through various social media you find out a little bit about them, but to come back to something like this and actually say, wow, these last 40 years in your life have been really neat, tell me more about them. I had a lot of those conversations last year.
Ann Dewar is one of the organizers too. Is she someone that you overlapped with in high school?
Yes. Ann's mother taught me in grade 1, and it's not hyperbole to say that she changed my life. She was just a remarkable woman, a remarkable teacher, and Ann's mom and dad and my mom and dad are dear friends. Ann's dad and my mother graduated from high school together, so we knew each other through childhood, occasionally saw each other in university, but after that, not a lot of contact until this idea sprouted for the festival. And now, good heavens, Ann and I are on the phone sometimes dozens of times a day, just working out the details of this wonderful sourdough cauldron of a growing event that we are putting together. It's getting bigger and bigger and more exciting, but it's doable because finally we are getting some more volunteers, so we're not burning out the dozen or so people that have put so much into everything over the last 12 months.
My high school best friend, she runs a store now in Montreal. She's coming to see me next weekend, and I'm so excited about that. There is something special about those people that can know you from all chapters of your life. That you don't have to explain a lot. They just kind of get you.
Right.
Is that how you feel about some of the people who've known you that long as well?
Absolutely. What is so neat is I haven't seen someone for years. If I don't pick it up immediately from the face, there were times last year I heard their voice and I knew, oh yes, yes.
And how are you? Are you already planning for the third edition of the festival? When does planning start?
It already has, in a sense, in that we are definitely planning to do everything we're doing this year, but we would also like to add a Sunday event of some sort.
Okay.
Our goal is for this to be a weekend-long event. Always piggybacking on the Thursday night town concert series, but having a Friday night family event of some sort, the big event on the Saturday, and then on Sunday, it could be some sort of sports event, or I don't know, but we want to do something on the Sunday as well.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you want this to become a legacy festival, something that gets handed over to a next generation eventually. What do you hope for this festival in the future? Where do you hope to see it grow to?
I hope to see it grow in numbers, but I also would like to see it grow in terms of people that have a vision that Anne and I haven't captured yet. Like we are literally doing this from the seat of our pants. But I would like to think that in 10 years' time, by God's grace, I'll still be going up there and doing some things, but a lot of the heavy lifting and a lot of the legwork will be done by another generation of people. A lot of the original organizers were from a very similar demographic, and it's very encouraging to see some people from generations like younger than me to carry it on.
I love that it's a music festival tied to the idea of reunion for a number of reasons. And one of those reasons is, while I'm sure many musicians will be playing new music, their own music, there's also a very good chance they'll be playing covers, and sometimes covers of songs that we knew way back when. And there's something about music that can transport us back to a different time. It's the most powerful medium I think we have for that ability for you to feel feel completely like who you were at a different time in an instant of hearing a song. Is that part of the reason for the music element too?
Yes, and it's a way we wanted some sort of fun event. And as it turns out, you're absolutely right. Some musicians are going to be playing some originals, but no one is going to be playing an all original set. Most performers, like myself, it'll all be covers, and as I joke to people, I play nothing from this millennium. So it'll be somewhere in the 1900s that my set list will be drawn from, because they bring back those memories.
Right, I know Guns N' Roses is playing in Moncton very soon, and I thought, oh, it'll be everyone from my generation.
Exactly.
There. For people who want to find out more about this event, where should they go? How can they get tickets?
Well, the quickest way is to email Mariners Alumni Association at gmail.com, and that will get fixed up very quickly. That account is also set up for auto deposit. You can purchase advance tickets for $10, and as I mentioned before, that does enter you into a draw for the limited edition mugs. However, also, there are two different options. You can pay $30, get an advance ticket and one of these snappy t-shirts, or you can pay $30, get your advance ticket and one of the Mariners Alumni Association mugs, which I should have brought one with me.
Well, I will see you at the festival. I appreciate you so much for coming in today to tell us more about it, Wilfred. Thanks for being here.
Well, I look forward to welcome you up during the open mic.
Awesome. I won't be singing, trust me. My guest today has been Wilfred Langmaid of the Mariners Music Festival and Mariners Alumni Association. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.